The Big Apple, Gotham, the city that never sleeps. New York City is a place with a million things to do. As lifelong locals, we'll show you the historic landmarks, iconic sites, museums, parks, cultural events, and the diverse and awesome food. So hopefully 111 is enough. This is Magellan.
And this is Greyhound.
Where we make videos about epic road trips, kayaking, hiking, and other outdoor adventures. This is a much shorter version of a previous video we made. For the longer, almost 70-minute version, please check out the link above or in the description. Built in 1883, and at that time, the longest suspension bridge in the world, the two 278-foot limestone and granite towers with Gothic arches interlaced with over tens of thousands of miles of cable is an absolute engineering marvel. Start your day like a New Yorker by eating this quintessential breakfast item. Located in Midtown Manhattan and the seat of the Archbishop of New York, St. Patrick's Cathedral is a must-visit landmark. Take in the iconic rink, where you'll catch people roller skating, and during the winter season, ice skating, and yeah, that famous Christmas tree. Top of the Rock, one of the 5 major observation decks in New York City, and arguably the best one, sits at the top of 30 Rockefeller Plaza, the heart of Rockefeller Center. New York City has a storied history with jazz, which began in New Orleans and surfaced in the Harlem Renaissance. One of the most prestigious music venues in the world, Carnegie Hall has hosted many musicians in both classical and popular music. Battery Park is a 25-acre park at the southern tip of Manhattan, facing New York Harbor. This means a nice view of the Statue of Liberty. After Ellis Island was stood up, Castle Clinton became the New York Aquarium for a bit, before finally becoming what it is today, a departure point for the ferries to the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. Lady Liberty, a gift to the United States by the people of France, is one of the most recognizable statues in the world. Head up the staircase to the crown, where you can see the tablet inscribed with July 4th, 1776, the date of the Declaration of Independence. From 1892 to 1954, roughly 12 million immigrants came through here, the busiest immigration processing center in the United States. Originally an important military fortification, especially during the War of 1812, Governor's Island is now a great place to hang out, whether enjoying a picnic in view of the Statue of Liberty or enjoying a cocktail. Since you're probably not going to be bringing your own bike from wherever you're visiting from, City Bike, New York City's bike sharing program, has roughly 27,000 bikes. The 5 Borough Bike Tour, one of the most unique things you can experience in the city. On the first Sunday of every May, 32,000 cyclists ride car-free for 40 miles through all 5 boroughs of New York City. Whether you take in the cold-fired deliciousness of Giuliana's, a glorious Sicilian at Spumoni Gardens, a classic slice at Luigi's, or even a $1 slice or $1.50 or $2. There's nothing more New York City than pizza, and there's nothing more pizza than New York City. Located at the World Trade Center complex and opened on September 11, 2011, the 911 Memorial Pools are 2 waterfalls that occupy the former spots of the former North and South Towers. Now a shopping center and major transportation hub in New York City, the Oculus was designed to resemble a dove leaving a child's hand and is a pretty unique and remarkable looking building. Probably the most depressing place on our list is the 911 Museum, created in remembrance for the 2,977 people killed in the 2001 attacks and the 6 killed in 1993. With its top spire at 1,776 feet in height, One World provides fantastic views of New York Harbor and the closest looks at the Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island, and Governor's Island than any other deck. Built in 1766, and at that time the tallest building in New York City, St. Paul's Chapel is not only the oldest surviving church building in Manhattan, but it survived the 9/11 attacks despite the World Trade Center collapsing behind it. Each day, millions of people ride it, and it's one of the easiest ways to get around the 5 boroughs. 472 stations, 25 routes, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Whether taking the subway, hanging out in a train terminal such as Penn Station, or walking down the street, you're very likely going to encounter Buskers. Opened in 1899, the Bronx Zoo is one of the largest zoos in the United States and the largest metropolitan zoo in the country. Speakeasies were originally establishments during the Prohibition era in the United States that illegally sold alcohol, but these days are just fun throwbacks to an older time. Located in the Chelsea neighborhood, the New York City art community began migrating from Soho in the 90s to former factory and warehouse spaces and began converting them. The Chelsea art galleries are a must visit when in Manhattan. Right by many of the art galleries is the High Line, a former elevated freight line running along 10th Avenue on the west side of Manhattan that was built in 1933. If you get hungry walking the High Line, you should check out Chelsea Market, a giant food and shopping hall located in the heart of the meatpacking district. Little Island is a 2.4-acre artificial park in the Hudson River that is supported by 132 tulip-shaped pot structures. Ground beef, onions, and cheese chopped and cooked together on a grill, then served on a hero with lettuce, tomato, ketchup, and mayo. Chopped cheese is life. Simultaneously a famous 8-block street and also the name for the area, Wall Street is the financial center of the world. The original structure was built in 1703, used by the Sons of Liberty during the American Revolutionary War, by the first Congress after the United States was established, and most notably was where George Washington was sworn in as the first president. Also known as the Bull of Wall Street, the Charging Bull is a 7,100-pound bronze sculpture located just north of Bowling Green. On March 7, 2017, Fearless Girl was installed in front of the Charging Bull, a symbol of female empowerment and diversity in the workplace. Trinity Church is a historic parish located opposite Wall Street and was completed in 1846. It was the tallest building in the United States for quite some time. Take in a game at Yankee Stadium. Explore the banners in the Great Hall of past Yankee legends, or head to Monument Park, where you can check out the retired numbers and plaques from Yankee greats. If it's summertime in New York, you gotta head to Coney Island, a neighborhood in Brooklyn, for the amusement parks. The New York Aquarium, the oldest running aquarium in the United States, is definitely worth a visit while in Coney Island. Be sure to check out the sea lions, sea otters, seals, and penguins. If there's something strange in the neighborhood, who you gonna call? There is no Dana, only Zool. Meat on a stick, also known as souvlaki on a stick, is heaven on earth, perfect for munching while walking. We're here to tell you it's all about the Greek food. Avgolemino, moussaka, lemon potatoes, keftides, tara masalata, lukaniko, lamb chops, tzatziki pita. I'm getting hungry just thinking about this. Our next stop is Flushing Meadows Corona Park for the Queens Museum. Notably, to check out this permanent exhibition, a large-scale architectural model entitled Panorama of the City of New York. The Unisphere is a giant, and I mean giant, stainless steel globe that was the symbol of the 1964 World's Fair and was intended to celebrate the beginning of the space age. Also in the park is the Queen Zoo, which consists of 75 different animal species across 18 acres. Make sure to check out the pumas, the sea lions, American bison, this tree-walking lynx, and some shack and peccary. Lastly, but still in Flushing Meadows Corona Park, check out a baseball game at Citifield. Until or unless Citibank loses the naming rights, this is basically where the New York Mets play. It's time to indulge in a once popular fountain soda that is well past its heyday, the egg cream.
An egg cream has milk, seltzer, no eggs, and a flavored syrup, either chocolate or vanilla.
DUMBO, which means down under the Manhattan Bridge overpass, is a small, eclectic neighborhood in Brooklyn. Hashtag Brooklyn Bridge? Often mistaken for it, people flock to DUMBO to get a photo with the Brooklyn Bridge, but may not realize it's the Manhattan Bridge they're looking at. Everyone walks the Brooklyn Bridge, but what if I told you that walking the Manhattan Bridge is also worth it, and that the views are amazing as well? The Irish Hunger Memorial, a half-acre park in Battery Park City, was designed to raise awareness of An Gorta Mór, the Irish potato famine in which 1 million Irish starved to death from 1845 to 1852. While not cheap, actually they're pretty expensive, so check their prices before you hop on. Rickshaws are a fun way to see the city. Located at 55 Water Street in the Financial District, the elevated Acre is a 1-acre meadow tucked away atop the hustle and bustle below. Made-to-order breakfast and lunch sandwiches, like chicken cutlet parm, bacon, egg, and cheese, or make up your own. Delis are a great place to grab a quick cup of coffee, a bag of chips, bring home cold cuts, pastas, and salads, or have the deli cater for you.
New York is the capital of bagels. We got everything, sesame, poppy seed, raisin, anything, you name it, they have it. No matter what combination you get, it is hard to go wrong.
So, rooftop bars are a thing here. You really can't fault New York City for trying to maximize its space, right? Fifth Avenue extends from Washington Square Park in Greenwich Village all the way up to West 143rd in Harlem. But it's the stretch from roughly 49th to 60th Street that it earns its reputation as one of the most expensive shopping streets in the world. Opened in 1907, it has had kings, presidents, and many celebrities as guests, and has been featured in many books and movies. But its most famous moments on screen are in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. No visit to New York City is complete without a trip to the 843-acre Central Park, the most visited urban park in the United States and one of the world's most visited places. One of the most famous spots in Central Park is Strawberry Fields, a 2.5-acre memorial to ex-Beatle John Lennon, who was shot not much farther than a football field away on West 72nd in front of his residence. Running between 82nd and 110th along 5th Avenue in the Upper East Side of Manhattan is the Museum Mile, one of the densest displays of culture on the planet across 9 museums. The Met, short for the Metropolitan Museum of Art. It's not short on accolades: the most visited museum in the United States, the 4th most visited art museum in the world, the largest art museum in the Americas, and the 4th largest in the world with over 1.5 million works spanning 5,000 years in its permanent collection. On the other side of Central Park from the Met is the American Museum of Natural History, opened in 1877, a complex of 20 interconnected buildings with 45 exhibition halls and a planetarium. Zuccotti Park, with a prominent 70-foot sculpture by artist Mark de Suvero at one end, is one of the few open spaces with benches and tables in the financial district of Manhattan. Oldest deli in New York City? Yup. Delicious heaping pastrami on rye? Double yup. Very expensive, like almost $30? That too. Speaking of the oldest places in the city, Lombardi's is considered the first pizzeria in the United States and has been slinging pies since 1905. The second, Totonno's, and the 4th, Patsy's, are both worthwhile pies, but it's John's of Bleecker Street, the 3rd oldest pizzeria in New York City, that is more than worth the hype. It's a great way to get a souvenir, and there's a certain novelty in buying an I Love New York t-shirt for $4, or $5 for $20. But there's also a foolishness into thinking you're getting a Gucci bag on Canal Street for $20. Grand Central Terminal is the largest train station in the world, at 48 acres with 44 underground platforms and 67 total tracks. It's no wonder it's the third busiest train station in North America. Just outside of Grand Central is One Vanderbilt, the fourth tallest building in the city, and home to Summit One Vanderbilt, the newest observation deck in the city. The New York Public Library is the second largest public library in the United States, only behind the Library of Congress. Come here to see the majestic Rose Main Reading Room, one of the most iconic places in the city and about the size of a football field. Just east of the New York Public Library is Bryant Park, a nearly 20-acre park filled with shops and kiosks with food, drinks, crafts, gifts, and more. Once upon a time, there was a team called the Brooklyn Dodgers, and once upon a time they played in a place called Ebbets Field from 1913 to 1957. Now an apartment complex after the team left for Los Angeles and the building was demolished, all that's left of Ebbets Field is this home plate, where Jackie Robinson broke baseball's color barrier.
Prospect Park in Brooklyn was built in 1867 and designed by Frederick Law Olmsted and Calvert Fox. It covers 256 acres.
Farmers markets in the warmer months, bike and running paths, a really cool zoo, a carousel for the kids, landmarks such as Lefferts Homestead, and historical markers such as the Battle of Long Island. Check out the Japanese Hill and Pond Garden or the Shakespeare Garden. Make sure to visit the Steinhardt Conservatory, where you can visit the Bonsai Museum on the upper level and numerous indoor pavilions on the lower level featuring various climates. Home to the highest concentration of Chinese in the Western Hemisphere, New York's Chinatown needs no introduction. Actually, it does. This is the one in Lower Manhattan, and there are actually several others in the other boroughs. Nearby Chinatown is Little Italy, where the fire hydrants give it away. The home of sausage and peppers and rainbow cookies, cafes, bars, cannoli, oh my god, cannoli. The gelato is on point, and seafood. The Staten Island Ferry transports folks back and forth between Staten Island and Lower Manhattan. And the best part? It's free. The Stonewall Inn, a gay bar on Christopher Street in Greenwich Village, which was, funny enough, owned by the Mafia, was raided by police in 1969. The ensuing Stonewall riots kicked off what later became the beginning of the LGBT movement in the United States. Greenwich Village, located on the western side of Lower Manhattan, is an epicenter of counterculture in the 60s, a refuge for artists and free thinkers, and a cultural melting pot. Famously dominated by the Washington Square Arch, with two prominent sculptures of George Washington as both general and president, the park has a giant fountain at its center, and you will not have to look very long before seeing performances in music, dance, and drawing with chalk. Located on Riverside Drive in the Morningside Heights neighborhood of Upper Manhattan, Grant's tomb is the largest mausoleum in North America, and is the final resting place of Ulysses S. Grant and his wife, Julia. Hamilton Grange is the former home of founding father Alexander Hamilton, and was the only home he ever owned. Learn about his rise as an orphan on the Caribbean island of Nevis to George Washington's right-hand man, his rivalry with Thomas Jefferson, and his fatal duel with Aaron Burr. While not the best place for a hot dog, that honor goes to Chicago, no visit to New York City is complete without a dirty water dog. The water's not dirty, it's just seasoned with various spices. A trip to New York City is not complete without a ride in a horse-drawn carriage in Central Park. Prices will vary depending on how long you want to ride and how much you want to see, but they're pretty reasonable. Manhattan Henge, also known as the Manhattan Solstice, occurs twice a year when the sun is perfectly aligned on certain east-west streets at sunset, typically around May 28th and July 13th, and it's best seen the farther east you're looking west. Founded by John McSorley, who fled the Irish famine, McSorley's is the oldest Irish pub in America. They serve 2 beers, light and dark, have a limited food menu, floors covered with sawdust to soak up spilled beer, and a whole lot of crazy history and memorabilia. Opened in 1839, Union Square Park is a hub for community events, festivals, and demonstrations, such as worker rallies, the first Labor Day March, and the largest gathering of the inaugural Earth Day. A long but narrow island in the East River between Manhattan and Queens, Roosevelt Island is about 147 acres, home to almost 12,000 people, and was named after former President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. A relatively new indoor arena located in Brooklyn, the Barclays Center hosts sporting events, conventions, and concerts. It is most notably the home to the Brooklyn Nets and the New York Liberty basketball teams. As one of the largest food halls in the country, make sure you pop into the DeKalb Market in downtown Brooklyn. Grab a beer at 6 Point, enjoy a hand roll or some pizza, maybe you want pierogies. An 85-acre park in Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Bridge Park winds up along the East River, across multiple piers, and extends all the way past the Brooklyn and Manhattan bridges. The views are obviously not too shabby. If you love live comedy, New York City is one of the premier places to experience it. We personally prefer the Gotham Comedy Club, but it's hard to go wrong. Arguably one of the best ways to see the city from afar, take a boat tour around it. Usually out of Pier 16 or Pier 83, you can take a short tour to see the Statue of Liberty, or go around the whole thing. Take a taxi. Pretty much synonymous with New York City itself is the yellow cab. There is likely no building as famous or as iconic in the New York City skyline as the Empire State Building, at one time the tallest building in the world. The Empire State Building has an observation deck, which is one of the most visited attractions in the entire city. Penn Station, named for its builder, the Pennsylvania Railroad, is the busiest train station in the Western Hemisphere, connecting Amtrak, the Long Island Railroad, and New Jersey Transit trains. It's estimated that 600,000 people use Penn Station every day, and that every 90 seconds, a train departs. Home to the New York Rangers and Knicks, Madison Square Garden is the oldest sporting arena in the New York metropolitan area. It's also host to concerts, conventions, comedy shows, as well as boxing and mixed martial arts events. If you're not the walking type, a bus tour is a great way to see some of the major landmarks in the city and get a narrated history tour without leaving your seat. New York City has been described as the culture capital of the world, and with over 800 languages spoken, what does that mean for its food scene? It means an insanely diverse opportunity to try ethnic food from countries you've never had before. Check out Hudson Yards, a kind of city within a city along the Hudson River. A giant mall with numerous boutique stores, restaurants, and a brewery, and even the world's largest Flatiron building made of chocolate. The centerpiece of Hudson Yards is the very hard-to-miss vessel, a large spiral staircase consisting of 154 interconnecting flights of stairs and 2,500 steps. Unfortunately, it's currently closed to a string of suicides, while a thin steel mesh is installed on the upper levels. Located at 30 Hudson Yards, the 6th tallest building in New York City, is the Edge, the highest outdoor sky deck in the Western Hemisphere. And it's appropriately named given the sheer edge of the world feeling you get as you look across Manhattan. Similar to a deli, bodegas are more of a small corner grocery store that serves food like a deli. More prepared foods, usually of the Latino variety, and plenty of grocery staples. Get the tacos and thank me later. Up until 1924, the Williamsburg Bridge had the longest suspension bridge span in the world. Unlike walking the very popular Brooklyn Bridge and marginally popular Manhattan Bridge, if you want to feel like a local, walking across this is it. Known for its hipster culture, Williamsburg is a great trendy neighborhood to hang out in Brooklyn. People are here for the nightlife and the food, and there's an ample amount of both. It's a great place to relax. The park is a part of a redevelopment of the old Domino sugar refinery, which is very hard to miss. For many, Liberty View Industrial Plaza is just a shopping mall. But for us, those with a predisposition for greatness, we are here to see Captain America. And Captain America we shall. Kinda hard to beat 4th of July in New York City. Head to Midtown Manhattan, Long Island City in Queens, or Greenpoint, Brooklyn to get the best views of one of the biggest fireworks displays in the world. What's there to say about Times Square? It's a major tourist destination and commercial hub formed by the junction of Broadway, 7th Avenue, and 42nd Street. A place so brightly lit at night that you may think it still might be daytime. Consider checking out a Broadway or off-Broadway show in Manhattan's theater district, which other than London's West End, has the highest concentration of live theater in the world. Pretzels, wings, fries, kebabs, sausage, gyros, halal Asian, banh mi. Some even have a bit of everything. Most people don't want to sit for 18 hours in an adult diaper in Times Square to see the ball drop. Head to Summit 1 for a giant dance party above, or leave Manhattan altogether for one of the quieter boroughs, and head to a show, or go bowling, or go to a show in a bowling alley. Christmas in New York City is unlike anything you've ever seen. Head to Rockefeller Plaza to see the enormous Christmas tree and go ice skating below. Explore the Winter Village in Bryant Park with its extensive holiday market and ice rink, or check out Hudson Yards. Horse-drawn carriage through Central Park? Check. And that is our 111 things to do. Add to the list by dropping a comment. Otherwise, we'll see you on the trails or in the water.